1. Hello, my name is Lewis McIntosh, and today is the second half of our 5th production meeting. Today's date is the 30th of December 2020, and luckily we have managed to complete our pitch PowerPoint. Just a reminder, my role in in the radio production, I am the director and guest presenter.
My name is Rebecca Jones, and I'm a presenter.
My name is Amari, and I am one of the co-presenters as well.
I have managed to mainly to help work on the PowerPoint from my laptop, but I did make sure that both Rebecca and Amari both contributed and not only figure out the design of the PowerPoint, but also what exactly they want to mention. So we've also managed to figure out which exact slide each of us wants to do for our pitch. For example, all of us will be doing the introductions and saying what our roles are going to be in this actual radio show, so that way they'll understand who's going to be doing what and basically how long each of us are going to be doing the presenting for, and how long each of us are going to be doing the sound mixing for. I will be talking about basically the style and remit of the radio show, so that way people understand what exactly why we chosen this specific kind of style for our radio show and how this is relevant to other radio shows in general, but also how it's kind of different, so it's not exactly a copy, so that way it's our own thing, but it's a similar pattern, you know what I mean. I'll also be talking about basically the film review segment of our radio show, because I want to explain why exactly we chosen to talk about this in our radio show, and basically why we chosen to do Soul as the movie we want to do for our radio show in general, and why this is. And I'll also explain some of the key parts that I want to talk about the movie in general.
So I'll be talking about why is it right that we call it the quality chat, and so I'll just be mentioning why did we come up with quality chat, and why also we called it quality chat, because we thought, we were speaking of what we thought about the word quality, stuff like that. And the other slide I'm going to be doing is talking about the sports, and I'm going to be talking about how I'm going to be telling you about the updates and the updates and the latest news of sports and football, and talking about the local area for sports as well. Yeah, that's it.
I'll be talking about the music and why we have used certain genres, and why we have used certain artists, and I'll be explaining the tones, and I'm also going to be talking about mental and the cooling segment for it, as it's an important topic in our radio show.
One of the last things I would like to mention is that I'll also be explaining why we want to include audio adverts in our radio show, and why we want to use the specific adverts we've chosen. For example, we're going to be having a TV spot for the movie Black Widow, a Head and Shoulders for a football club advert, and even recently we decided to change a perfume of Lady Gaga advert to a Dove advert about body wash, because it sounds more descriptive for a radio show. So we're going to explain why we want to use these products specifically in our radio show, and what's unique about them for not only our radio show, but also for our target audience in general. We've also created a mood board slide with not only different audio examples, but a poster for the movie Soul. And each of us have decided, like which areas we want to include. Like, for example, Amara is going to be talking about the adverts, why we decide to choose these adverts for our audio show. And then Rebecca's going to talk about like the jingle and sound effects audios. But basically, the jingles are examples that we could use to create our own jingles, and the sound effects is something that we would like to include in our audio as well. Like at some point during our radio show, we would like to include that. And then I will finally be talking about like the song example, Drake, and why we decide to go with that song specifically. And then I'll talk a little bit more about the film Soul, so that way those people who haven't got a chance to see it get a better gist about what the movie is about and what the story is going to be. So that way, if they're interested in not only watching the movie, they'll understand why we decide to go with it for our radio show. And then in our last slide, we just dropped a little bit of thank you for listening, and then a chance for our classmates to ask more questions about the radio show, like anything we don't discuss, they get a chance to answer it. And hopefully, if we get it done within at least about 10 or 15 minutes, it'll give them enough chance to each of us to answer at least a couple of questions that they want to know. And yeah, so that's the end of our 5th production meeting for today. And then hopefully our next production meeting will be sometime on either the 6th of January or the 7th of January. If not, we will double check with our tutor. And yeah, at the end of our 5th production meeting, and I hope you enjoyed it.